a gap I also feel should be closed up. Let me say that a gap I found is that you see in the law it says that defilement starts from 16 downwards, right? And then 18, from the 16 to the 18 is rape. So the minors, probably in the eyes of the law, minors are 16 downwards. But there's a gap between the 16, 17, and then the 18. In that frame, no, are they falling under defilement? This one, they'll ask Ifwa because she's the lawyer.
No, I think it's
That
under rape.
16, 17, 18, no. Why?
Rape.
If it falls under rape, still the 17-year-old and the 16, they are minors.
Yeah.
They are
Yes,
still minors. So treating them with the adults.
Yes.
It's because of the age of consent. But lawyer,
The
please listen
age
to
of
us.
Some of them, they are still naive, like
The
babies.
age of consent is not for, I keep saying this, the age of consent is not for adults to have sex with children. For example, in the USA, for example, we have the Romeo and Juliet law. So if the age of consent is 16, it is so that if a 16-year-old and another 16-year-old or 17-year-old engage with themselves, they won't go to jail. You, the adult, it is not for you to go and sleep with the minors. So when people talk and they're like, oh, they can give consent. Yes, they can give consent, but not to you.
To their age.
The age of consent acknowledges that this person at least has capacity and can understand, but they are still underage. When it comes to back to the, so that's one of the problems with this age of consent issue. It is people want to take advantage of it, but you are in a hurry to sleep with teenagers. That is why you are shouting age of consent. When we come back to the the legal framework, you see, we talk specifically about rape, but there's a lot of other things that are sexual assaults that the law is yet to cover comprehensively. Like, for example, this 5-year-old that was complaining that a man was fingering her. Where are we going to go with this? People, how can you complain? Like, there's a lot of things, like inappropriate touching, badgering. You don't have to actually put a penis into a vagina, like anal rape. All of these things. Men sleeping with boys, using sex toys on children, sextortion. The law is very specific and limited. That is one of our main issues. And it also came before the internet. Yeah, there has to be. I don't know if she's talking to me. Yeah, it came before the internet, and a lot of things are happening online that should fall within the range of sexual assault, but the law does not like provide or cover these things. So a lot of things are going under the radar. It is also like not gender neutral because we have intersex children in Ghana. People forget them a lot. We have intersex children in Ghana. We have boys that are also being abused. Yeah.
This is and when when lawyer you talk about when you talk about the laws changing, right? You know, a lot of times for us as women who are advocating, we keep talking about it. We want this change, we want this change, we want this change. Like, people don't sleep. We don't sleep. That's why we are sitting here at this time talking, right? But it will interest you to know that a lot of the times when we engage the boys and you try to even let them know that what you experienced is abuse, so many times they will tell you that, oh, I liked it, I liked it.
Because they have been conditioned in their mind.
Exactly, they have been conditioned. The last time I said this, and I'll say it again. It is unfortunate that a highly respected pastor will sit on TV and tell us that he was 17 years old when he had a girlfriend, and from what he was relating, he was having a very good time with her. And if not for anything, we don't know, or we can't tell into detail what that good time looked like. If it included even inappropriate touch and it wasn't even sexual intercourse, it is him being abused. But then we are conditioning boys to think that for them to become men, it is appropriate for them to be taken advantage of. You understand? And it makes it very sad and worrying when you want to do the work. Because so the placard campaign I was telling you about the last time that we did at Oponglo, right? We had signs up that said that. Some of the signs read, and if you go to our page, you see some of the signs read that in Kitwa Desa, then you go to jail. Some of them said that it's nice, but if she says stop, you should stop. And one of them that I was very passionate about was boys can be abused too. And it will interest you to know that the things that people were very much interested in, and the interest came from men, where boys can be abused. And the second one, blue balls is better than going to jail. Blue balls is better than going to jail. The interest for that was that people wanted to understand why we think it's okay for them to experience blue balls rather than going to jail, because it's painful. So they would prefer to have sex and not think of the repercussion that without consent, if the person is a minor and all of that, they can go to jail. And the boys can be abused. The interest for that was, oh, we don't care, oh, we don't care, whatever, we like it. The older women, that's how we even like it. We want them to do that to us. And it happens so much. I doing, I did a recording last Saturday. Yeah, we had the previous session on the Saturday, right? And there was somebody in the studio audience who said that, oh, what I'm saying, it happened to him. And I was like, so would you want to share this just so that people know that when I talk about it, I'm not lying when I say, wait, oh, maybe many GU, so I'm okay about it. And he is not the first person who has said that I know of. We have conditioned men, the social construct, as Dr. Alice will always say, the patriarchal influence is such that as is going against women, they forget that it's going against themselves.
And they're forgotten that because of that, that is the reason why they have no sexual control. Because if you start grooming, like Ifwa said, if you start grooming a male child from an adolescent age or even lesser than that, they grow up thinking the way they show love, the way they communicate, everything will be sex, 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 sex.
Yeah,
I saw an interview with a guy who was, I think, sexually abused by the sister or auntie or something like that. He ended up having a severe addiction to sex. He couldn't control himself. So when the lady left, he said every time when she started, you'll be touching the penis a little bit after school. You'll be touching the penis, small, 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 small. Then he graduated over there. So every time he closed from school, the lady will come, they will have sex together. So it went on for like years. And then the lady had to move from the vicinity. Then he became like a
he
trauma
found
to
someone
him because
else.
he couldn't find a way to get himself out of it. So now he was watching pornography, masturbating. And then when he came of the age where he could go to the university and then have the chance to, be wooing girls and all of that, he started rampantly having sex with everybody. Then he started noticing that it's not something that is healthy for him. But it all started because we have made it in a society that as a man, dear, your end goal is to have sex with a woman. If you have sex with a woman, even if it's your mother that raped you, your auntie that raped you, they have made it covered that you don't even see it as rape. You see it as, hey, obanene me better, then it's enjoyment. Meanwhile, it is harming you. It's so sad though. The men, theirs is even more dangerous because it affects everything that they do. Because even in their mind, it has twisted their mental.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it,
To add
but
to that,
get
to
me.
add to that,
Yeah.
I also think the fact that the law does not cater for rape that is done to men also contributes heavily to this. Because
Yes.
even if they do realize that yes, I was sexually abused, what would the law do about it? Because I
Yeah.
was having a conversation with somebody the other day and I was like, yeah, I don't think that. So I was trying to put into perspective for them. I was saying that when men minimize the impact of sexual harassment on women, so i.e., you're working at a packed concert and then a man grabs your buttocks or touches your breast, it is sexual harassment and it is not a very pleasurable experience. I was trying to put it into perspective for him. So I said, imagine you were walking or like on the street, like the way you walk around with your boxes, and I just randomly grabbed your penis. Would you like it? He's like, no, he'll feel very violated. I'm like, yes, that is the reason sexual harassment is a true problem. I was like, yeah, even if sexual harassment is a true problem, the law does not cater for men who get sexually assaulted. So if the law doesn't recognize that men also get assaulted, they are less likely to say, okay, yes, this person sexually assaulted me. I was a child, I was 7. I was 17 and a 30-year-old woman slept with me. And so I recognized that this is a harm that was done to me. What's next? Because if you did chase it down, nothing would happen. I was having a conversation the other day where I was trying to teach somebody about, I was trying to, whenever I get like male friends anywhere or male boys anywhere, I try to tell them about consent in my own little way. And I was telling them that a lot of boys would not admit it, but they have been sexually assaulted by older women at least once in their lifetime. He was like, yes, when he was 17, he went to this 32-year-old woman who was his friend's house, and she was trying to teach him how to bake, and then she slept with him. And for a significant while, they were going at it. And he didn't like it when it happened at first, but he thought, oh well, my friends usually say that when women come to you, it's when women come to you, something you should be happy about. So he didn't see anybody to report to, and he kept at it till he came to university. I was extremely happy that he was groomed. Do you get? And I don't know. Misogyny also has a heavy part to play in this, because a lot
Exactly.
of
The
systems,
patriarchal system,
yes,
everything.
a lot of systems see with people who can be abused as only soft and feminine. So if you come out to
Yeah.
admit that you were weak, and they will say things like, you too, a woman got
The
control of you or
princess.
something
The
like that.
princess.
Yes, exactly. So they will really like womanize you. And I know it's not a like a slur, but
Yeah.
womanization is a slur for men. The men will
Yeah.
womanize you when you say that a man, like you have, as you as a man, whatever that
Either
means,
a man took advantage of you or a
of you
woman
or
took
a man. Yeah,
advantage of
yeah, yeah.
you.
And also then that I know that we don't talk about this a lot, but the ostracization of minority groups in our society is also extremely harmful, because it also shields the abusers of these people. Because if you are a minority group and you are experiencing sexual assault, even though the law is supposed to take care of you, the ostracization makes it extremely hard for you to
Harder.
be, yes, like extremely harder for you to be covered under the law. So for example, men who are not like heterosexual, all of those things, still get sexually assaulted, and people don't care. They'll say, oh, but you are not a yeast, those type of things. Very,
Yeah.
very saddening.
Abundance. My next question is for you,
Okay.
but before
Auntie,
we
can I
go
say
into
something before?
okay, Doctor.
I want to just say
Lawyer.
that even even when we talk about abuse on boys, men are being abused, but they don't regard it as that. Yesterday, I posted a video saying that sometimes the things that women do to men in the name of seduction is sexual harassment and sexual coercion.
Yeah.
Because this man, he does not like you, or he has said that he doesn't like you. Kwaku, stop making noise. He doesn't like you, and you are busily. Some people, you are using your hands to walk pass on his body so that you can test his self-control. You are sending him explicit pictures so that he can see that you are hot. So because you don't think that there is a world in which you are the aggressor, because you think that in any capacity you are always the victim and it is okay, and he should want to sleep with you anyway. So if he doesn't, he needs to be like pushed. He needs to, because men always want the sex. Men always want the sex. There's no world where men can say no, and if they say no, it is not genuine. It's just because they haven't been sparked yet. Yeah.
So, and before we get into
Very
that, I would
true.
just like to go through the comment section to like acknowledge some of the. I see that Kojovi has joined. Dr. Kojovi, you are welcome. Dr. Alice, you are welcome. Nidromo ESQ, you are welcome. AE Bejeweled, thank you. You are welcome. Ajwa R17 in Shira. Let me see. There are people who have been commenting. Ishira is doing very well with the comments. And then Dr. Alice, we are really grateful that you are in the comments and also giving insider practitioner information, because sometimes when we are doing these lives, it's very important that aside our personal experiences and our opinions, there is a practitioner, especially in the health and trauma side, that
Ali
you are
just
giving
got the
insight.
comments and my heart. The statistics, it's like
Yes, yes.
that most
So
men are violated by men, even than women.
yeah, Lion of Judah, all the people who joined with us, we really we acknowledge you. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. Thank you very much for joining. So I know that usually people request to join because they have some information that they want to share. So Dr. Lawyer, do you think I should I wanted to No, actually, that was for abundance. Do you think I should ask your question first, or should we pick a few people who have some concerns and then we would come back to our conversation? What do you think,
You can
abundance?
ask me the question first, so I say it, and then you can go to the people who want to join.
Okay, so Camry Tego, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. All of you, please. I'm going to allow you to join and also Dr. Alice, thank you very much. I'm going to put you on so that you can give us some tea, some information. But just because you are a creator, and I always say that you are the youngest amongst us now, and you see some of these things that are happening online and things like that. Do you genuinely think, as people, as a Ghanaian society, as a country, we are ready to take on the digital abuse that's coming? Do you think we are prepared? Do you think we are well equipped?
Simple question. A simple answer is no. I don't think so. I will draw this back to my original stance that we are very, very, very resistant to change. We do not have structures that can uphold changing the norms that exist around digital abuse. People don't even recognize how problematic digital abuse is, like in itself. We've not recognized it as a problem. But also, told my friend this like 2 or 3 days ago. Educated, informed, exposed people are in the minority. People who
Yeah.
know better, people who are willing to do better, people who are willing to make the videos, talk about it, educate people are in the minority. And there is no way in which people who don't know are going to lead the way or pave the way or do the engagements that is required to reorient people's mentality to actually seek change. And we have a very long way to go. And I think the whole Bole SHS teacher and student situation really revealed how long of a way we have to go. We had young people, we had professionals, we had people in very high places, people with platforms saying the most problematic things since
Ever.
God asked somebody in the Bible to sacrifice their son. Like, we've really had really problematic thoughts. And my issue to then is the majority of people are on the wrong side. Like, we are following, giving platforms, platforming people who are problematic, and those people have more reach than we, the educated, somehow educated, somewhat exposed people would ever have. Like, somebody who hosts a live with 10K people watching them, saying things like they don't understand why the student is not receiving some of the blame, shifting blame, absolving the villain or the perpetrator of the act of all the things they did to participate in the crime, is really problematic. And I don't know where we can genuinely start from. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, and I think when as we are getting into this, I would just accept the request. The last request that I saw was from Kamitego. Kamitego, please, if you're around, I'm going to add you and then we'll give you a few minutes. Oh, my lip gloss cried up and say. Anyway, a kind reminder, Ghana is going to play, and you know my position on Ghana. We have to support Ghana. Pray for us, especially Dr.
1:30.
Kojovi. Dr.
Yeah, we'll go to work
Kojovi.
on Saturday in the morning. No, me,
Oh,
I won't
the
watch only
guest,
today.
the the guest canceled the request.
Wow.
Sorry. So then I will give the opportunity. I'm going to invite. Dr. Alice. Dr. Alice, show me how to invite you, please. Or if you can make a request so that we'll accept you, and then you can give us some insights, and then we'll move on to other people. If hey, you are supporting your homeland, Colombia. Wow, I'm not impressed by this. Was
Wait,
if I
Dr.
don't laugh,
Gogoji, are
I'll
you from
cry.
Colombia?
I really want to see you because
Yeah,
you
I think
wanted to speak
he was
earlier.
the one that joined in the
Okay,
beginning.
so I've been able to add Camry Tego. Hello, Camry Tego. Thank you for joining our session. Let's hear from you. Looks like you wanted to share some important information with us. Please take over.
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
you're
you are.
audible.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Okay, so I've been listening for a minute, right? And something keeps running through my head when it comes to this particular conversation, especially since it has to do with sex, sexual abuse, pedophilia, rape. You combine all of it. I'm just pushing it under sex, right? I keep asking myself, at what point do we then start having the conversation where we would be able to change the next generation, right? And it has to do with how we are brought up, okay? I don't know the lady's name, but bathing is a what? It's a construct? I don't know. Bathing. Anyways.
Conspiracy theory, but my name is Abundance.
Okay, high abundance. Your very last statement where you said we have a long way to go because it has to do with the SHS, right? I think it goes further beyond that because look, first of all, you're dealing with everybody's individuality, okay? Right, as a child, when you are born, the way you think, the way you perceive things. Then you have the issue where you have parents who are grooming you, and they are grooming you to be proper adults in society, but they are doing this from number one, their own perspective, and two, the way society has told them an adult should be. I agree with the lawyer when she tells you, look, there are no laws, or I guess the laws have not been specific enough for men and boys all together, right? But here is my problem. If I take my generation, or if I take, wait, which one is the Gen Z and which one is the millennial? And then there's the one that is X2. Anyways,
Let's say millennial is older than Gen Z, and then Gen Z is older than X.
Gen Z is older than X. This is confusing. Anyways, people born in the
Alpha.
people.
Alpha, yeah.
It's alpha. So alpha is after Gen Z.
Alpha is after Gen Z. So X gave birth to millennial. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now, here is the thing, right? From X all the way to Alpha. Okay, there is something that is very, very prevalent is our culture and how it seeks to put women in a certain box and then puts men in a certain box. We are basically, and you've probably spoken about this before I joined the space, but we are being taught that yours is basically provide and embed a woman and make babies, and woman, as we say in our local language, gugo. And look, I'm using myself as an example when I tell you, in as much as my dad extremely educated, my mom very educated, there's something I have noticed as an adult is the fact that both of them never sat down to have the talk with me, quote unquote, the talk that never happened. And it's not just me. Now, the question is, do I blame them? Somehow I do not blame them, because I have come to realize, wait, it's not a them thing in as much as they are educated. And that's where Abundance's sentence of the educated might be in the minority. Abundance, I disagree with that, because sometimes the educated are the worst perpetrators of all of this, because they know, and somehow because they feel they know, they will be able to get away with it. But I digress. The point is this: they never had a talk with me because I grew up in a place where it's like, okay, school, hard work, be a good boy, and then right after uni, the conversation switches to when are you getting married? In between all of this, nothing has been said. If it's my sister or friends of mine or female friends, is stay away from boys, learn. Yefie household chores. And then the next thing is, when are you getting married? When are you having babies? It's as if for the generation before us, nothing is said, nothing is heard. So when you go home and you go make complaints like, oh, I think I have been sexually abused, I think this person fondled me, I think this person touched me the wrong way, I think this is wrong, they genuinely do not know how to deal with it. So it's either they go from 0 to 100 real quick on the anger scale, or they do the whole Ghanaian thing where they tell you, let's settle this at home or forget about it. And you realize it's happened with so many cases. Lawyer, I don't know if you remember this, but it keeps playing in my head where there is a man in if I'm not mistaken, either Bogatanga or Tamale, who had multiple times kept sleeping with, and when I say underage, this girl was between 0 to 10. The girl was not a teenager, right? Multiple times, the man was arrested by the police, taken to the district headquarters, and then you have the family of the girl now go to say, "Oh, we want to go and settle this at home, so release the man."
Exactly the same case.
Anyways, I guess, and I think I've spoken for too long, but I guess my question, or what is bothering me, or what I want us to identify this evening after this entire conversation is this: where do we start the talk? Who are we going to elect to nominate or give or empower at this point to say, growing up as a child, if you touch, even especially amongst men, if you touch this person this way, it is wrong. If you hold this person this way, it is wrong. During your conversation, lawyer was given an example of something that was happening, and I really wanted, I think that was when I requested, I really wanted to ask a question, but unfortunately he skipped me. She was giving an example, and it hurts me, right? Because it was a perfect time for me to ask the question that will have us pondering. But let me leave it here. Thank you so much, ladies, for bringing me up and allowing me to
Please, what's the
rant
question?
off. I hope that's the thing. You had gone past, but
Oh,
the
don't
last
worry.
question I
We
might take
will talk
away is,
about it
We'll
too.
still
Today
talk
we are
about it.
sleeping here because the Ghana match is 1 a.m. Last week I
Are we
ran away
sleeping
because the
here?
Ghana
Yeah, I'll
match
run
was
Did
away
on.
and
we
leave you
sleep
very
here?
soon.
Did we agree to sleep?
no. I have an order to attend, so don't mind. I might end up sleeping off before. But where do we start the conversation? Who are we empowering? At what point, or at which generation will now be able to tell the difference between sexual assault, sexual abuse, sexual harassment, right, wrong, fondling, where? Because
Nah.
unfortunately, from where I sit, right, especially with the issue with boys, where boys would lawyer then okay, and also oh media many into the mini shaker, right?
They
Once
don't
they
even accept that they have been assaulted.
exactly, right, cause of the pleasure that we get from it. It's like the one thing you are told to avoid so many times, and then finally you get to do it, and then you find out on top of it is pleasurable. You tend to forget the fact that it was wrong in the first place, or you were forced to do it, and then now you earn for it, and then it affects your thinking. So unfortunately, I don't see a solution, but I'm listening to you. I really hope we can fix it.
Where do we start from is your question, right?
I guess so. Where?
Yeah. I feel like we can start from educating the parents. So let's say my parents, me myself, so that I can educate my children and also the children in the system already. Because if the education does not go for parents, they wouldn't know how to talk about their children, because aside school, the people that impact children the more for knowledge, for them to know their way around the world and the evils and see everything, it's the parents are the ones supposed to teach them all this. So if a parent's parent was not able to teach them anything about the society or how to even bring their children up, they will just emulate and carry on exactly what Camry was saying. They'll just carry out what they know from their parents or from the society. So if the other side was lacking, they are also going to lack in their unless they become eye-opened and they study more to break that barrier or to break that proceeding thing. So I feel like we must teach all of us, even if it's an older woman, 90 years, the person does not know anything about it. We must teach one of us. So it has to fall on the gender. I think the office of the gender and gender rights and something office, for them to even, you see, we when we break it down, we have subdivisions like the DOFSU, which I've been hearing DOFSU, but I don't see them do more things like this. At first, when we were kids, they were showing all these things on the television. You know how kids in art forms, in cartoon ways, the children can grasp you, and also where parents or adults will come and talk about it for the parents to grasp to it. So let's say all these things, we have to put more energy and more gas into it. So we have televisions now. Social media is vast. Social media is vast. When we push the campaign on social media, it's going to go more. It's going to go more than the traditional media, because the traditional media so is fading out. So why don't they do a lot of campaigns teaching the parents? You do some in Chi, you do some in Ewe, you do some in all the local languages, so that even parents that have not gone to school would know. You do some in English, so that the children too, they will all know how we talk. We need to push those, the government side, the law, or the people that was the organizations that are supposed to do all these things. We are supposed to do it more. Government too should push a lot of funds into that, because those, when you go and report your child to them right now, even telling them that your child has been raped, going to the hospital now, they will let you even pay for the medical testing. You will pay, because government in face it, they are mine.
Abana, I'm so sorry
Yes,
for cutting you off, but then something just like immediately you started
yeah.
speaking. I think the main thing I wanted to say also came to my mind, right? And this is it. Who sets the standard for what is right and what is wrong? Right? And I'm asking this because I see Dr. Anita is here, the trauma specialist, right? Maybe she can really, really help. I'm
Yeah.
asking this because look, people so what it's a silly argument, so spare me, okay, but just what should I say, indulge me should be the words, right? Abna, for example, if I walked up to you, okay, and then I touched you on your arm, right? Who at what point will say the way I touched you on your arm is wrong and should not have happened, and it's something that can be overlooked, right? And that is my headache right now. So okay, or if and I say this because again of culture, right? Even in Ghana, if you take our Muslim brothers, if you choose to do it Muslim Christian, right?
Yeah.
There are certain things or certain actions towards Muslim women. For example, touching their hair, especially when you have the hijab on, right?
Yeah.
It's a not for them. Okay. But Abna, I can walk up to you because you're a Christian and pass my hand through your hair just to say, oh, your hair is nice. Now, there are two things involved. You see the look on your face. As a watch, we as a papa, we then
Why
okay.
would you? I wouldn't even allow you to
Exactly.
come close to my hair.
Yeah, but so here is the thing, right?
Come with you.
So I nearly lost you. Yes, there's a call coming in. Let me hurry up. Yeah, I guess all I'm trying to understand is who is setting the standard to say, or who is setting the standards where you get to figure out, okay, this is abuse, this is wrong, this is something that's because what I see as wrong, you might not see. And that is how come you have parents, adults, and certain people, when you go report certain issues to them, will say, oh, Nancy, forget it. Oh, Nancy, so who is setting that standard and who will be drawing the attention to that? I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, did Ifa step down, or is it network? I feel like the institution that is meant to hold us down, that is the gender rights institution, Ministry of Gender. They are the ones supposed to push out all these things. But quite unfortunately, nobody is holding anything down. And the ones, when we bring it to society, the society, the parents, the older people that are there. Yeah, if I was asking why you are out, I don't know. On this side, baby girl, can you try and find out why Ifa was dropped? Because I feel like
Also,
those who
why
are,
it's because her thing was off, her video was off.
also they took her out.
Yeah. So,
That's
Camry,
what,
please, if you are done with your questions, then I'll have to drop you so that I
yeah.
can add someone else. I'm sure it will be it will be attended to. So I'm just going to disconnect you. Sorry about that.
But what he
Okay.
asked, basically all of us, we are supposed to set the bar, but we are all failing. We
Dr.
are trying.
Alice
We are doing our
is
best, but
joining now. If we are try and request, let me accept you. So Dr. Alice, please have
hi, Dr.
accepted you.
Alice.
Okay, Michelle wants to speak. So Michelle, after Dr. Alice speaks, please, I'll give you the opportunity to. I can see that people have requested. So please, I'll accept your request. Dr. Alice, please, you can carry on.
Hi. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say a few things. I think these issues have been around, right? But with social media, I think we are getting more and more of the knowledge of it, and so it could seem like, oh, it's getting worse, but it's always been around. If your mothers and your grandmothers would be honest with you, they will tell you the things that happened to them in their time and the things that they had to endure and all of that, which is why I am not a big fan of it takes a village to raise a child, because the village was actually harming the children. The village, that cultural practices made children very vulnerable to be preyed upon and to be abused in that way. I think when it comes to how we look at it, it has to be a holistic approach that we take. We talk about something called primary, secondary, and tertiary way of looking at things. So the primary is the prevention. What do we do? That is maybe the desensitization, the education we give parents, we give teachers in schools, we give police officers, everybody in the society, even the churches, our pastors, giving them the education. That would be the primary way. And the secondary way is when, after the thing has happened, what do we do, right? How many, let's say, trauma centers do we have in Ghana that will provide people with crisis counseling, that will be able, people who are trained in trauma therapy, trauma informed therapy? How many of our police officers do they know about trauma informed interviewing, that when something happens to a survivor, there is a certain way that you actually interrogate or you ask them questions? Our nurses, how are they trained to ask people questions and all of those things? So that also goes in there. And then when it comes to the tertiaries, the aftercare, right? What are we putting in place? Do we have a sex offender registry where people would know that, oh, this person is on the list, right? If a teacher has been prosecuted or whatever, it's not that, oh, we are going to transfer them to another place, but their teaching license should be taken away from them. All of these things that goes on. And, these things happen almost everywhere. Even in the US, it happens. However, the US, we are trying to reduce it and there are measures in place. Still, we want more measures, but at least there is something that we could start with. So even if at least your case, you're like, I'm not going to go to the court, I'm not going to report, at least you can get the therapy. At least some states will give you money. They have the victims fund or the victims unit where they would pay for your psychotherapy, where therapists are trained and all of those things. So I think Ghana, we are really, really behind, and almost every aspect of our institution. And the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection is one ministry that I think they have failed Ghanaians. They have failed the children of Ghana. They have failed the women of Ghana. And it should also be one ministry that shouldn't be affiliated to a party. It should be a ministry on its own where there is an agenda, where we have researchers in there, we have practitioners in there, we have educators in there, we have people who have done the research, who have done the work, who have the knowledge. We have survivors in there, but it shouldn't be
Dr.
all.
Alice,
Yes.
please, a minute, please.
Okay.
Guys, I have to get ready for work, so I want to say bye-bye so I can
Okay.
step down. Thank you so much for having me. I wish I had time, but I have to go to work. So
Sure. Yes. Thank you
next
so
time,
much. I wish you all the best and thank you for joining.
next time I'll
We,
join.
we gave everybody at 9 o'clock, so we'll just I'll let you say your last words, Abundance say your last words, and then now we would allow like people who have things to say, to
Yeah.
speak. So, Dr. Alice, please, if you can kindly just let her say her last words, Abundance says her last, so then I can give you the floor. So, after you, I'll accept someone else.
Dr. Alice, my apologies.
Okay. So, Abena, you can finish off, and then Abundance will also finish off.
So basically, I just want to say that the pedophilia thing, we all need to come together collectively to fight it because it has been in our society for quite too long and is harming so many people, sending older people like myself and even older people into trauma, and they're still dealing with it and even transferring it and projecting it even onto their children. I just pray that when you see it talk, when anyone or any victim or survivor comes to you to air their views, please, I beg you, just listen to them and find a way. Even if you can't do anything about it, find someone that can do something about it. Don't be quick to judge, don't victimize. Even when men and boys have been into situations like that, let's all collectively fight together for them because it's something that is really eating away our girls, and the things that we are seeing these girls and boys do on the social media is all as a result of pedophiles grooming them and having access to them, and they were never brought to justice. That is the reason why all these things are happening. I just hope that the people that have the power to help us will come forth and help us and hold us under so that we don't all sink underwater. Sometimes fighting becomes a bit hectic when you're doing it alone or we are just few people. So hopefully there's a lot of things that have been done about it. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Abena. We'll tune in after our session to listen to your radio show. And thank you very much.
You'll come and meet me.
Okay, Abundance, is there anything that you also like to say? And then I'll give Doctor the floor.
Oh, okay. So I'm very grateful for having me again. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to listen and to on this side for the amazing work you're doing. Ifwa and Abena and Dr. Alice, your contributions, and then Camry. Your contributions have been really, really insightful. If there's anything I would have to say to everybody is that you are the custodian of every young child out there. It is you have an honest or a responsibility to ensure that at the very least you are not an enabler in some way, shape, or form. So anytime you get the chance, please educate your friends about consent, about the limits of consent, and also educate the young ones around you, and also make yourself a safe space. Like we are always talking about how there should be safe spaces, and most of us aren't safe spaces. So make yourself a safe space for where people can come and confide in you if they have issues that they or like encounters with pedophiles and all of those things. In the meantime, keep being a respectable citizen and a good global citizen by doing the right thing, and we'll see you guys some other time.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you very much. Dr. Alice, please, you can take over from here.
Oh, okay. What was I even saying? And so, let me go back to the dog thing that somebody was talking about. So,
Yes.
I think also the resources are needed, right? Because this is a very high pressured, high trauma field that we are putting people in. And so, if we are not giving them the resources, if we are not paying them enough, then the cases will be taken home because already they don't have the resources, already they have a high caseload. So if somebody says, I'm going to take the case home, they'll be like, okay, that's one less case on my caseload that I have to deal with, right? And so, I mean, the whole of Ghana, how many dog soup people do we have, right? It's not even in every region or every municipality or anything like that. And how do people even know? Are they going even into the schools to say, hey, we are here, this is what we do, this is how you can come and talk to us, this is how you can make a report? Again, even the whole Ghana, we don't have a central line where if somebody is facing something like this, they could either just text or even call. In 2026,
we do.
We do.
Yeah, we have a few numbers. So there's 0800111222.
Do people answer?
Oh no, people do. And so 0800111222. I know that personally because when I was working at UNFPA, I worked
Okay.
at the center, and we have
So
a mobile device.
11122.
Yes, 0800
Okay.
111 and it's a 24-hour service. So the mobile phone is taken out of office. So when we close at 4 p.m., that phone is assigned to somebody, and we
Okay.
pick phone calls all through the night. But I can't understand because, for example, you work in this space, you do advocacy in this space, and you don't even know about it. So
Yeah.
there isn't a lot of
Yeah.
information out there on the services that
Okay.
is available. And I think it's also because DOFSU is a very underfunded
Yeah.
place. The Ministry of Gender is, if I'm not going to exaggerate, is the most underfunded or one of the most least funded ministries.
But they're
And
always
they have,
having parties and throwing parties and stuff.
and maybe the parties are doing, I'm not saying this in defense because I have my own issues with Ministry of
Okay.
Gender. But my point is, so it's Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. So it's so many important things put there that needs a lot of funding and a lot of resources. And unfortunately, they don't have half of the funds. So just because you mentioned those who, I'll go to that too. We on this side have a case that we are actively going to court for. And it's Dosu has a building where there's like a court, right? So the judges that come and sit on only domestic violence and
Okay.
abuse related cases, right? And the state prosecutors, there's just like one state prosecutor, and the person is doing all the cases. And sometimes in a day, we do like, you can sit in for about like 7 cases. And this
Wow.
state prosecutor is the single person that's sitting on for all of these 7 cases. They are probably coming in the next day, doing another set of 7, coming in the following day, doing another set of 7. So it's draining, and a lot of these
Yeah.
state prosecutors are not even enabled enough, like they don't have all the appropriate training and all of that
Yeah.
to be able to be, because a lot of them are not lawyers. So it's just by
Okay.
virtue of the fact that they work in this space as police officers who have like knowledge, basic knowledge and things like that. But the state prosecution is done by somebody that a lot of the times is not a lawyer. So yes, we are advocating for more things. We need more resources. But the little that we have as well, I think that they have to do like small things to propagate it so people know that at least this is available. Because
At least the numbers
to
are
be
out
honest, the
there.
ministry is just happy. Unfortunately, I'm not happy to say this, but they're happy to go for events. And sometimes to even get through to somebody to say that, oh, you know what, like these are important things that have to be taken care of. No, they would rather things that would make them look good and the trips
And
and
post
all
on
of those things.
Instagram.
Exactly, rather than the real work that has to be done. And it's something I say this with no regret, no remorse, that the Ministry of Gender has to be looked at. And I can't understand what you say, but it shouldn't be partisan. It should. But the thing is, if it's not like that as well, right, then it may have to be changed to like an authority and all of that. And so that's why like the under the new policies and things like that, they are trying to have authorities under that act for specific things.
Okay.
Even for those ones, they are also sometimes subject to change. But those specific things, it makes it such that there's a direct line responsible for different things. So maybe like if there's like a children's authority, right? You know that there's somebody whose only work is to take care of children.
Yeah.
If there's a social protection, their only job is to do social protection. If there's a women's division, their only job is to do women's related things, because the Ministry of Gender is burdened. And apart from it being burdened, it is underfunded. So they don't even have the ability to bring on people to do the work, even if they wanted
Okay.
to. So just wanted to touch on
Okay.
this briefly.
Okay. So that makes sense. Yeah. So like you said, if they have the number, I think then they should equip everybody with the number so that people would know the number by heart. And I think the other thing is also comprehensive sex education. I think when we think about that, then in our Ghanaian society, our minds only go to, oh, you are going to teach the kids how to have sex, or you're going to teach them, but that's not what it is, right? It is empowering the kids and knowing that the data shows that it actually helps the children to make better decisions, even when it comes to pregnancy or even having sex actually comprehensive sex education reduces teenagers having sex because they have the information, not fear based, not the one that we put fear into them, not the one that we do only religion or abstinence, by giving them all the options. And so it's so layered and it's so multi faceted that sometimes it could look overwhelming. But at least if everybody is doing their part a little bit, and hopefully as people are talking about it on social media, the ministry would also know. Because me, there was one time I was emailing the Ministry of Gender almost every day.
Civil service, they don't respond to email.
No, no.
There's no civil service
Oh,
ministry agency
then
in
why do
Ghana.
they
They
have the
won't do
email?
it. They do because we have Nita who is hosting all of these things. So every
Okay.
ministry should have, but the .gov, they won't respond. I
They
can't
will
tell you that
respond.
they won't respond. I don't even think people have
Did they
signed. I
respond?
don't know if the IT department have signed into it on their computers at all. Even they won't respond.
Oh, okay.
They wouldn't
Okay.
respond. They
Okay.
wouldn't respond. Oh, if she joins, we'll just let her give her last word. So Dr. Alice, while you're on it, someone else requested. So Dels, I'm accepting your request. I think you had something important to say. So I'm accepting your request so
I
that
think
you
I can get down. I have said what I came to
Okay,
say.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm trying to see where is Dels? Someone Dels, please. Oh, okay. The guest cancelled their request. There's Maroon, I think. Maroon also wanted to speak. And Maroon, please, if you are here and you can just resend your request so that I'm able to accept it. Oh my God. Okay, Marano. Okay, he cancelled his request. All right. So I think that should be it. If we don't have Marano, I'm just going to try. Okay, Marano, yeah, on now. Thank you very much for bringing in your request.
Hello. Yeah. Good
Hi,
evening.
Marano. Good evening.
Yes. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share my opinion on this issue. Honestly, I'm not the TikTok type most of the time. When I'm tired with work, I just pass through and have some entertainment and leave. But surprisingly, this conversation got my attention. I mostly don't do this TikTok live at all.
Yeah, thank you so
It's
much.
really, yeah. So it caught my attention because last month I I was working on a campaign with a group of friends, and the campaign was about the boy child. The
Okay.
boy child. Why the boy child? So we're working on a social behavior change, and as Doc said, if you want to find a solution to this issue, you have to tackle it holistically. And holistically, when I joined this, I was waiting for you to add a gentleman onto this panel, but
We
it looks
do.
like
We actually do. From our last
oh,
session,
I see.
and we yes
Then
for us
possibly I'm
the
new
we
here.
request
So I
we
realized that
add.
it's just ladies, and they are all talking about. Please give the gentleman to the opportunity to speak. But luckily, I think you brought is it Camry on board,
Yes,
and
yes.
I really appreciated his opinion. What
Okay.
I'm trying to or heading to is that there is a saying in that kind dialect that "Utu ekrafo na utu ejamwafo."
Okay.
It is very important, very, very important in the sense that it's always most of this sexual abuse and stuff. When you check data, it is the girl child who is mostly affected. We are not saying the boy child is not also affected, but who caused this or who initiates this thing? Most of the time, it's the boy child. So why don't we also, as we are educating a girl child, why don't we take upon the pain to also educate the boy child too? so that he or she will understand the consequences of his actions. I don't know if you get my point.
Yes, I
Those
understand.
it's supposed to be a very serious two-way conversation. I am, and also I think we have been talking about awareness, education and stuff. It's a high time we move from there. There's a lot of education that is being ongoing. You were saying something about the Ministry of Gender not being active and stuff. Honestly, if I realized that I noticed this campaign of them, I don't know if you heard it, the Orange Support Center. There was
So that is
Guame
a
app. Did you
funded.
hear it?
So yeah,
Do you?
that's from UNFPA. So I know that that's the number I
But
gave
I still
out.
sitting
And
with
it's
them. Yes, yes.
no,
You
I'm just
mentioned the
saying that.
number.
So what we were trying to say was that the Ministry of Gender is under resourced, right?
Yes.
So we need them to do the most they can with the kind of resources that they have now. That way it's even easier for us to make a case for them to have more funding. Please, I hope you understand, not that we don't appreciate what they are doing. Orange Support Center is a very good thing, but so if UNFPA didn't do it, it's governments saying that they would have never thought that there should be such an innovation. You get what I'm trying to say? So
I get you.
yeah.
Okay. So you are right, and I understand where you are coming from. We live in a country where always we need support from outside to even implement things that will benefit ourselves, right? Instead of us starting investing into things that will benefit ourselves before even support come from any else. That is a challenge. But we should also say they are really doing well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have opened or downloaded the Buame app. I believe we can and tell most of the members like those online to also try and download the app, register on top, and be reporting issues that relates to sexual abuse and stuff. In this year, they also ran a campaign. I don't know if the sensitization program. I'm saying this because this sensitization program they ran, it reached about 12,000 people or individuals, whilst in Ghana the population is around 33 million. Think about it. I am I am coming back to what I stated, that it looks like the awareness question is not doing the thing. We should look at more of the behavioral change. It is a behavioral change, and when behavioral change is being looked at, we looked at shifting people's norms, how they think, what they accept, how to turn what they accept into, how to influence what they accept to be right. I don't know if you get my point. It's like
Yeah.
what Doc asked. How do you determine that this is wrong or this is right? You see, that is the biggest question. But every human being has accepted a principle or a discipline that for me this is right, for me this is wrong. So with social behavior change, you look at what he or she has accepted, you influence or drift that to make the person see that, oh, you are accepting this, it means this is also wrong. You don't need to do this. And that is what we are lacking. So I believe in going forward, let's do a serious stakeholder mapping with this issue. If you leave it to the police to be handle these issues, trust me, it may not work. They may not be the main people influencing or who will lead to solution to this problem in the society. That is why there should be a serious stakeholder mapping. It will surprise you that some of these issues or reforms in the society can easily be done by a pastor or a religious leader, and you don't need to. So like the conversation where they were having earlier, where I heard that, oh, the issue was at the police, and someone said, oh, you better come with fear. Trust me, sometimes you better come with fear, it is more efficient than the police. I'm like the police handling the issue, sending it to court and other stuff. It is how some societies, like, again, what I'm talking about is like what the society accepts. and what will change their mind. There are certain societies when the man of the house says you like you will not travel outside the country until you are 18. Nobody will say anything, nobody will object. That is that society. So if you want to influence their behavior, you first have to influence the father's behavior, like that man's behavior.
So,
So
Marana, I just want to understand this, right? So, when you say that in the case of taking it outside of the legal system, the
no,
punishment system, as it were,
no, I'm not,
you
no,
were
I'm not saying
saying
no. I'm not saying we should take it from the legal system. I'm
no, but
saying
what you said was Yenko Kanofie is more effective, or sometimes it's more effective. That I want to understand, what does that imply?
no. So what implies is that sometimes let's look at the situation at hand. Okay, the legal. Let's look at the abuse at hand, and look at how best we can rectify that situation and create and get um the targeted reform that we want. That's
Okay,
what I'm
so
saying.
in this case, what is the tag? What do you think that the targeted reform we are talking about is?
So the targeted reform we are all talking about here, okay, with this main discussion here, is the issue of sexual abuse.
Okay.
Trying to create the awareness of it, and people should understand that it's high time the abuse level in the country is, should I say, I don't know the right word to use at the moment, but
Don't worry, go
let's
on.
let's say it's a thing of a past, or it is that minimal that you don't even notice at all.
Okay.
And I am
So,
saying that I'm what I'm saying is, I'm not saying the court thing is wrong. No, it is not wrong. All I'm saying is that in tackling some of these issues, okay, there are various communities in Ghana and various norms. When you go to the upper, the northern part of the country, you realize that their norms are different. And if you want to have, let's say there is an issue of an abuse over there, and you want to really tackle it, you have to use a different approach to tackle it.
so what
You
is that
it
approach you are recommending?
I'm not recommending. I'm saying you first have to study the grounds, understand the various stakeholders who are involved in it. Okay. Then when you identify them, you do a serious mapping. Then with them, you find solution to them to tackle the issue.
Okay. Marana, I think I would acknowledge the first part of what you said about the Buame app, Orange Support Center, all of that. But point is, what you are talking about is what fuels the abuse. Because we don't want people to think that it's okay for us to continue following the path that we are on. It's not okay. When we say that let's go and talk about it in the house, it's not a solution. It is not a solution. If the person, so I'm going to say this like I'm going to say it as plainly as I can. If the person decides, the survivor decides, the family decides to proceed and go into court, I don't think that it's now that we have to go and talk about it in the house. And point is, we are also encouraging people to get to a point where they decide that they should seek legal redress. They should seek help with their mental health. So if you say that we should now go and do stakeholder mapping and things, stakeholder mapping has been done in Ghana for years. For years. So unfortunately, that is not the solution, and that's not. If you had left it at just the part where we're talking about Buame app and all of that, that was very good. But just because obviously people are on here, people are following this live because they want to know what the right way is. No, taking it home is not the solution. What maybe I would have preferred would, if you say that, oh, you know what, like these supposed stakeholders, right, if they act as responsible people and are not asking people to come to the house to go and deal with it, but they should support families to go into court to seek justice, such that it would even it would stop other people from getting into this, right? They should set up some support system for the families, for the children who are like experiencing all of these things. How can the families support their kids, their adults, whatever? But to say that we should take it home, I don't think that's the path that our organization wants to go on. And I'll just give you an opportunity of I can see someone saying welcome to opinions. So I would let you say the last thing, because unfortunately we wouldn't want to be using our space to propagate something we do not believe in, right? So I'll just give you the opportunity to give your last remarks, and then, but I really hope that you are able to adjust your mindset about it. We are not saying, see, I would use myself as an example. I sit here today. I want people to go into courts and all of that, right? If you have what it takes, the evidence and all of that. I spoke about my abuse 2 years after, which means I didn't have any biological evidence. I don't have DNA swab. I don't have anything else to help me but my word, right? So for me, as somebody who survived this experience, and I'm speaking about it 2 years later, my advocacy on asking people to talk about it now is that I don't want them to be in my case, where if they are going to talk, and it's not even like there's an expiry date for crime. There's no expiry date for crime. But the point is, the courts will make it harder for me because I don't have anything else. The only thing I could have used was if there was like an examination of my vagina, or there was a collection of DNA sample. So I am advocating that if this should happen to somebody now, today, I am helping them to seek that justice, especially when they agree that they want to seek that justice. Because in as much as I am doing this work, I can't force people to seek justice. But I would continue to advocate that it is a good thing. And for people who have reached a point where they feel that, you know what, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I'm not now going to try and find a dress, they are now going to test the person's DNA, all of those kind of things, right? What I want to do is I just want to feel free. My organization is going to help them to get some sort of help. We are not saying that healing is a straitjacket, but we are going to give you free healing support such that you are talking to professionals, you are talking to social workers, you are talking to trained counselors, and you can, because speaking about it helps you to get into a better place. So the fact that I wasn't able to go to the police station, to go into court, does not mean that I will go and tell somebody that because of that the person should move their case to the house or something. No, that's not the point. And when I talk about the person has to agree to want the help, I'll give an example. So we got a report coming in from the central region, right? And the person was gang raped by 7 people. Okay. So this report came in from a survivor that we know, a survivor we interact with. And the uncle was the person that told us because he wanted us to help that person. So the girl was rescued because she was left under a certain transformer. The girl was rescued by a family, and that family that rescued her, they are aligned to trying to get as it were some support, like to help the girl. But any efforts that we make to get them to tell us what happened, because they have gone to the hospital, they have done the high vaginal swab, all of those things, they've done the examination, there's evidence that this happened. But the person who rescued them has a close relation to the chief of the place. And in our laws, you can only stay in remand for 42, you can only be in custody for 48 hours. So after that 48 hours, the person has to go on jail, right? And has to be let go on bail. If it went into court, then maybe they will say that, okay, you have to go on bail. So bring sureties. If you are not able to bring those sureties, then we have every right to keep you in remand. But it didn't even progress to that point. I'm saying this issue, I'm giving this example because the people who have access to the evidence for us to help them The man told us that we don't have any right to call him from outside of the community to ask him questions. And he cut us off, which means we can't support, we can't help. So that's why I said that if the person desires that we should help them, because some people do not desire for us to help them. And in as much as we want to help everybody, if you do not desire that we should help you, we can't do anything. So I'll give you the opportunity to give us your last words, and then I'll pick up someone else. We can hear you. You can speak.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
So and I really understand it, and this is an interesting and a very sensitive topic. I will say again that we have had enough of sensitization campaign. People know about abuse, know that abuse is wrong, and yet the current government or the current structures in place hasn't really found solution to it for over a very long period of time. It didn't start today. It started for a very long period of time. And I am saying, let's look at this issue very well, very holistically. And there is one last thing I would say. People who go through abuse, they live with it for a very long period of time. And I believe they have to really speak out about the matter, and they have to request for help. Let's continue to make this advocacy campaign about this issue very louder, with every strength we have, with every means we have, so that this issue will reach the necessary attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Marano, I know that I said I'm going to let you drop off, but I really hope and pray. I know you are entitled to your own opinions, but I really hope and
Oh
pray
no.
that we get to a point where you don't think like this. Again, we
No,
don't think that
dear,
it's okay for us to talk about it in the house.
The issue, I understand where you are coming from. Maybe you didn't get my concept well, as in go and talk about it in the house. I am looking at finding the real solution to it. I'm not saying talking about it in the house is the solution to it. No, I am saying that anytime there is this issue, we don't want it to, apart from the person the victim at that moment, we don't want this issue to repeat itself. What can we do? Okay, how can we handle the current issue so that there will not be a next person? I don't know if you get my point. And and from that point, I am saying that even if the chief has to come into this issue, okay, even if someone in the community who is well respected can come into this matter and talk about it, will help influence the society's opinion. Why not? That is all that I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll be disconnecting you now. Someone else wanted to talk. Let me see if I can go up and find it. Dr. K, I see you. Thank you for joining. I'm very happy that we're out today on the bus, because I know it would have been very heated here today. I'm just going to go up and see if there's anyone else that requested to speak. Then I can give the person the opportunity and we would be wrapping up. We have gone 32 minutes past our initial intended time of closing. Let me see. All right. So thank you very much to everyone who has been able to join the live. I know that all my speakers have gone because I gave them 9 o'clock. We don't take this for granted. And if you were in our last session, you remember that we said we would put a petition together to give some more pressure to the Ministry of Education to let us know, Ministry of Education, NGES, to let us know what the outcomes of their investigations are. The Ministry of Education has been in Parliament this week talking about very different things. Capital punishments should be inculcated again in the schools. That's a completely different matter. But please visit our website on thisside.org to sign the petition. I put the petition in the comment section. Let me see if I can. I'm just going to try and paste it to see. Oh, unfortunately, I'm not able to paste it. But please visit our website so that you can sign the petition. If I exit this live to try and copy the link, I'm going to go off. So I wouldn't do that. Let me just type our website so that you can just visit our website. Oh, somebody wants to co-host. I don't know. Invite you to co-host. Please, can somebody explain what that means? So I'm typing on this side .org, so you can visit the website to sign the petition that we intend to give to the government to see some real work being done. Thank you very much. This has been On This Side's Live. I'm giving another opportunity for anybody who wants to share their opinion. I'll just accept the person and then we can go through. But this has been On This Side's Live. We work in this survivor support space. We offer free healing services. We go into schools to do awareness programs. We are leading policy reforms, and one of the ways we are doing this is by the petition. We give real community support. So for cases that are reported to us, that we help people to report to the police services and all of that. If it proceeds to go into court, and the reason why I'm saying if it proceeds to go into courts is like I already mentioned, in as much as we want people to do the right thing, if they decide to not go to court, we would convince them to go to court. But that aside, if they decide not to proceed, we will still be there to give them support. And those that proceed to go into court, we are in court with you as much as time gives us. We go into court with you. Where is the so there's a link on the website that, you know what, okay, so I'm just putting the link in the chat. I don't know how that's done. Okay, your comment wasn't posted because of the live settings. I don't, what was the live settings? Okay, so I'm going to add it on our bio, right? I'll add it as part of the links in our bio or on our link tree, and then you can just tap on it and then you can sign the petition. We'll also make a post with it so that you can tap on it to sign the petition. Thank you very much. For us, especially coming from myself and my co-founders' personal experiences, we believe that every individual has their own journey. If you decide to go the path of justice, we are happy to support you and we truly advocate for that. But if you think or you believe that you don't want to go that route, we are also available to assist you to go the path of healing. That's why we have first responders who are giving healing, some healing support services. And you can also donate to the work that we do on 02468767750. 02468767750. It's registered on the site's name. We have a bank account. We would make all of those available, or you can go on our website to donate. And we have a placard campaign coming up in Accra on the 25th of July. We would communicate the venue for that. And we have a placard campaign coming up on the 8th of August in Takwa. So 8th of August in Takwa, 25th of July in Accra. 8th of August in Takwa, 25th of July in Accra. We have placard campaigns coming up. Please do follow our pages here on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Visit our website and stay in touch. We hope to come your way with another live. I'm going to give on the count of 10. I will see if anybody is requesting to join this live. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. When can somebody explain to me when somebody says that they want to co-host? What does that mean? Does that mean that they want to? Does that mean that they want to speak? Because I have gotten 2 requests for co-hosting. If that means that they want to speak, then maybe I would allow them to speak. Okay, so I guess we would end the live here. Thank you very much. It means both of you will be hosts, but so that means that they would also speak, I guess. Anyway, we have gone 38 minutes past our time. I would unfortunately have to end it here. I know today, dear, we didn't want to close, but we would do this. We would do this again another time. Please do follow our pages and stay tuned. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.